Hi, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your January 1st to the 15th, 2022 reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting ourselves feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's see what the tarot has to say. Scorpio, January 1st to the 15th, 2022. Scorpio, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Emperor, which is Aries energy, and we have the Wheel of Fortune. I love this combination here so much, Scorpio. I just turned it over and I was like, whoa, this is amazing. So when we have the Emperor coming through, it is being able to rule one's own world, right? We are the Emperor, we are the power, we are the force, and our angels are untangling all the chaos that is around us, all the way that we've mucked things up. And there's a real sense of being able to look at things anew. So if we have Aries energy within our natal chart, this is coming through very powerfully as a root form of our personality. Then we have in our inner self, we have the Queen of Coins, which is Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. If we have Earth sign energy within our natal chart, it comes through very powerfully here at our root. Not at our root, in our inner self. We have the Two of Swords, different ways are opening up, and we have the Nine of Wands. There is a sense that we will take other people's opinions way more seriously and hold it with greater validity than it necessarily needs. So just be mindful of this. It's almost like we're too conscientious, we're too concerned about what everybody else thinks and why everybody else thinks it and what's going on here. Then we have the Two of Cups in our emotional self, which is beautiful. It's unity and it's healing. Then we have the Seven of Swords. There's a sense of betrayal and there's a healing from betrayal. And there's also a sense of moving forward, which is really quite good. Then we have in the public arena, we have the Six of Cups and we have the Moon. There's a fear from the past coming forward. There's going to be something here that stops us a bit, Scorpio. And that's going to be something that that we find a little bit overwhelming. And it's going to be something that reminds us of a betrayal that we thought we have healed from. But because we're taking other people's words much more seriously than we're taking our own inner dialogue, this can be something that we definitely have to address, definitely have to look at. Now, if we have Pisces energy within our natal chart, this is coming through very powerfully as a public form of our personality, a reactive form, not only a reactive, but a form that people will see more in the waking world. So just be mindful of this. Let's look at our energy that we need to be mindful of. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. This is the Princess of Cups. Now, we are represented by the cups in the minor arcana. We are represented by the death card in the major arcana. What we have to be mindful of is getting in our own way because we're not looking at things as developed as we should be, meaning that we're going to have a young, naive approach to things at times, which will have us thinking, oh, it should go this way, because again, we are young and naive, or we just have this outlook that thinks, okay, maybe everything's supposed to get healed, everything's supposed to be better. And this is going to be a time where sometimes we look at things and say, oh, maybe I need to walk away from this, or maybe I need to stop thinking this person is going to change, or, maybe I need to look at this from a different angle, because that's going to be the most beneficial to us. And we're going to get in our own way if we don't look at things with a more mature outlook. But it's actually going to be, it's not being nihilistic. So do be mindful of that kind of very cynical, nothing matters anyway, so why even care type of mentality. But there is going to be the mentality of, I need to look at things and say, what if, that person isn't ever going to carry their weight or do what they're supposed to do? What if, that isn't going to change? And look at it from a sense of really planting our feet on the ground and not thinking everything's going to be fluid like we want it to be. We're also going to be very attracted to people who are young, who are innovative, who are looking at things differently. This person isn't going to be as developed as we want them to be. This person can have brilliant ideas, but no follow through. So just be mindful of this during this time, because we can absolutely get pulled in and then everything kind of falls short or falls apart. So be aware of that. Then we have our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. This is clarity. This is the third eye chakra. And the third eye for us as water sign energies, Scorpio, is really quite powerful because we're going to be seeing things a lot more clearly, a lot more insightfully during this time. We're going to be looking at the way that we want to move forward. We're going to be looking at what's super important to us. And there's going to be this sense of kind of like bells ringing. It's going to be this sense of, oh, wow, that is the way it is, isn't it? Or, oh, wow, I can't believe I didn't see it like this before. So just being aware of this becomes a game changer. Let's look at things astrologically speaking before we dive into what the cards have to say. And let's look at how the astrology and the cards play together. On the 1st of January, we have this beautiful power coming forward, right? This wonderful energy to start the new year. This is a time where we have the sun trine Uranus, and this is a time when we are comfortable standing in our own skin, standing out, being who it is that we want to be. We're really embracing who we are and what it is that we want from life. We'll have no problem expressing ourselves. We might be a bit timid. There is a bit of timidity here around our own voice. It's kind of like being too agreeable, but we also have to be mindful then not to go to the other side of the coin and be too disagreeable. We need that balance. And for a lot of us, it's going to be hard because there's going to be a sense of, it's not worth the fight. I'd rather just walk away, or I'm not going to engage in this. So just be mindful of this here during this time. And we really need to let ourselves shine. We need to give permission for ourselves to shine and really embrace who we are. We will also be in tune with the world around us and be getting insights from our dreams. That's the clarity that's coming forward. We're going to be getting insights from our dreams. Also on the 1st of January, we have Mercury trine the North Lunar Node. So Mercury trine the North Lunar Node, this is another powerful and positive alignment. It is said that our lives are echoed, the purpose of our lives are echoed between the north and south lunar nodes. So being aware of that. Also knowing that in astrology, we call the north lunar node the head of the dragon, the south lunar node the tail of the dragon. It's like the very body of us is echoing our purpose in life, our passion forward, the way that we are embracing ourselves and what we desire for our existence. We will enjoy figuring out the whys and how comes about everything. This is a time where we can really dive deep, and we're going to like that. And this is a time where we don't need to share it with everybody. There's some signs that really need to be mindful of diving too deeply into other people's problems or into their own problems and being like, okay, we have to fix this, and just being too caught up in the healing of the self and feeling like it's all their responsibility. This is going to be something for us, Scorpio, that we look at and we go, how do I dive deeper into here? How do I embrace what I love and what I want and where it is that I need to be? We're going to figure people out, and we're going to be really observing people. And this is going to be a time that's really great for us, because we're going to be looking at things, we're going to be looking at people, we're going to be looking at even things that people are saying online or on television, and being like, oh, that's why it's affecting XYZ. So it's going to be a little bit like being a detective, but it's also going to be being a really great listener during this time. We are also not going to take things as personally as we would usually, so things kind of roll off our back, which is really nice for us. On the 2nd of January, we have the new moon, and the new moon is in Capricorn. There will be another video on that. We also have on the 2nd of January, Mercury entering into Aquarius. Now, Mercury really does love being in Aquarius because it's a very positive energy for it to be in. It gives us a very positive outlook. Now, things will be smooth sailing up until the 14th. The 14th is when we have Mercury going into retrograde, so just be mindful of this. On the 5th of January, we have Venus sextile Neptune. Now, because we have the Pisces energy at our root, Neptune comes through very powerfully during this time. This is a day where we are astoundingly passionate. We will need to be focusing on expressing our feelings, our passion, what it is that we desire. We are highly creative and also really enjoy being surrounded by beauty. We are also going to exude a charm that makes us attractive and is really quite beneficial. So take advantage of that. A little bit of self-care, a little bit of pampering will go a long way on the 5th. So take time for yourself. Take time to enhance, your outward appearance, because it will actually enhance your mood and your energy vibration. The 8th of January, the sun is conjunct Venus. Now, this personifies love and peace. We need to surround ourselves with beauty and give ourselves permission to be expressive with our emotions, which is very funny because there is always going to be that bit of timidity to, do I really express my emotions? What if they go against what other people are thinking? Do I want to get into that argument? Isn't even worth it? So for sometimes, in some instances, we might keep our mouths shut. We might sit there and say, that's not how I feel, that's not how I believe, but I'm not getting into it. I'm not wasting my energy on being dragged into battles. And so we might decide staying silent is the best way to really stay true to ourselves. But we have to kind of voice our own opinions to ourselves and express our emotions to ourselves. That's going to be really important. This is a time when low energy vibrational people can hugely affect us in a very negative way. So be mindful of the people who are letting into our lives. We might feel guilty about certain things and think, oh my gosh, I should let that person in, and then really regret it after we have. Now, on the 10th of January, Mercury is going to be trine Chiron. This is a harmonious aspect that helps us heal ourselves and others. Now, again, we want not to dive too deeply into healing other people or really looking at self-healing too much, because we're still going to need to be interactive with the world. And we don't want to put everything on pause and say, okay, when I'm perfect, I'll be able to interact the way that I want to, because we're going to be disappointed because perfection is something that we always chase and never quite obtain. So be mindful of this during this time. We will have a talent for saying the right thing at the right time. It doesn't mean that we're always going to say the right thing at the right time, but we're going to do pretty well with that. So embracing that is going to be really quite good. We will need to follow our own ideas, and we actually will find a lot of wisdom and a lot of, aid through ancient wisdom. It doesn't mean that we have to conform to anybody's ideologies, but what it does mean is that we really start to embrace our hearts. We really start to look at things, and we're going to find a lot of wisdom from either, traditional religions or esoteric religions, or connecting with nature, or just even from the past, listening to people from the past, or our grandparents or parents' old sayings start coming up in our mind, and we think, wow, that holds a lot of wisdom. On the 11th of January, we have the sun sextile Neptune, again coming through very powerfully because of the Pluto influence here in the public arena. This is a powerfully creative time that should be utilized. Neptune makes us highly sensitive, so we're going to be much more aware, and in the public arena we're going to be much more sensitive than maybe even we want to. So being aware of that, Scorpio, is going to be a real aid for us. So again, Neptune makes us highly sensitive to our surroundings, so we need to be mindful of who we associate with and our surroundings, really making things beautiful, connecting with ourselves. That's going to be really quite powerful. There is also a lot of psychic potential here, and it can be overwhelming for us if we don't embrace it, if we aren't ready to have all that energy coming forward. So the psychic potential might need to be tempered, and we need to be mindful of the way that we temper it. So we can temper it at times through, very negative means, like through alcohol or drugs or something like that, because we're just feeling too much of the world around us. And I don't know if this is just a warning for one specific person or more, but there's really just a need to say, you know what, during this day, if we're feeling things, if we're feeling too much, if we seem to be connecting with this world too much, don't drown out the emotions, okay? Step back and step into yourself. Step away if you can, and let yourself be able to focus on your breathing, focus on what you desire, but also know that if you're going to go for something negative or something that kind of numbs things, this is because you're connecting too much with the world around you. And there are steps to really help that and really help us step into ourselves. So again, be aware of that. On the 11th of January, we have Mars squared Neptune. Now we have the energy of Mars here by Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars, and the energy of Neptune in the public arena with the moon. So this alignment brings powerfully varying energy. So on the one hand, we have the positive energy of bravery and glamour, yet on the other hand, we have the energy of intrigue and scandal. So it's very much kind of like all that glitters isn't gold. Think of Hollywood, right? You'll see all the glitters, all the this, all of that, everybody's supposed to be envious of them. And then if you scratch the surface, or things surface after the person has passed away, or you're looking back at old Hollywood, it's not what you thought it was. This is going to be a day where things are not what we thought they were. So that's going to be something to keep in mind, and it can be a little bit disconcerting. So just be aware of this. This is a time to listen to our inner voice and to start giving ourselves permission to stand apart from the chaos of the world, and to really stand apart from the chaos of the world, to say, no, this is not for me. This is not what I want. I get to embrace who I am, what I desire, and where it is that I need to be. On the 14th of January, again, we have Mercury retrograde. Now, Mercury retrograde will be lessened by Mercury being in Aquarius until the 25th of January. Now, Mercury remains in retrograde, comes out of retrograde on the 3rd of February. So just be mindful of this. And I'm just going to take a sip of water. At our root, we have the Emperor. This is a time of tremendous power for us. We're starting to step into our power, what we desire, what we want, who we are. We're not going to be afraid of asking for things. And that's because our angels are untangling so much chaos that is around us. This is a time where we're looking at things and saying, there's change here. And we can feel like we're on a roller coaster ride, like we have these really big highs, these really big lows. And that's because as the knots are being untangled, we're in flux, and we feel this change coming around us. So being aware of that is really going to be beneficial for the way that we're moving forward, really identifying what it is that we want. But we also have to not fear our own voice. There is a part of us in our inward self that does fear our voice, that does fear stepping into our power. So this is going to be an energy that we really fight against during this time. So just be aware of this. We have the Queen of Coins. This is the Queen of Pentacles. This is earth sign energy. This is really nurturing and growing what we love, what we desire, what's intrinsically important to us. And there's a sense of things developing. There's a sense of things becoming more if we nurture it. If we don't nurture it, we're going to feel like we've lost something. And yet we don't know what we lost. It's almost like I lost something, but I didn't find anything. So what the heck is going on here? There's going to be a real power of planting ourselves in situations, not putting ourselves in bad situations, but planting ourselves in the situation of our lives, in where we are, visualizing ourselves kind of taking root and seeing the power grow around us, seeing us become more steady, our spines become more straight, our shoulders, are pushed back. There is this real sense of I'm embracing where I stand and why I stand here, and I'm growing in my power. The Two of Swords are showing us that we always thought there were two directions that we move forward in, right? You have a left and a right, you have a right and a wrong, you have these two directions, and that's what you can be. But what we're going to see here is that there's way more roads than we ever even knew of. This can be things coming into our lives, or doors opening for us that, again, we didn't know were even possibilities. This is also a sense of looking at things in a very different way, not being so rigid with ourselves, not trying to conform quite as much. And it brings us to the Nine of Wands. So as these roads are opening, also as we're taking root in ourselves and in our powers, we're going to really doubt how we're moving forward, because the Nine of Wands comes in, and the Nine of Wands is like, oh my gosh, I've been through so many battles. I've listened to so many people. We can have headaches. Our body can ache. If we are listening to others over the wisdom of our own hearts and our own selves, this can become astoundingly overwhelming. The Nine of Wands comes in and says, look at the battles you have been through. Look how far you have come. Stop. Stop doubting yourself and embrace your voice. Stop doubting yourself and see yourself. It moves us to the Two of Cups. This is healing, beautiful love. This is a real connection of the heart. This is a sense of our angels guiding us forward. And this is a healing coming forward within our own lives. This becomes the game changer. And as we're seeing this, as we connect with the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine aspects of ourselves, as we embrace healing, as we embrace unity, as we embrace love, we embrace who we are. And it moves us to the Seven of Swords. And the Seven of Swords is betrayal. The Seven of Swords is letting us see, as we heal, everything in our lives that have betrayed us. There we go. And these betrayals can make sense to us, and they cannot. It can be that we feel betrayed and still carry that betrayal within our hearts from somebody passing away when we were really little. It can be that we feel betrayed because of circumstances that happened that were outside of anybody's control. And this is a time where we look at the betrayals that we can say, okay, that was a betrayal. That person left and didn't come back, or that person was cruel and mean and abusive. That was a betrayal. But we can also look at the things that were internalized as betrayals. Because if they didn't leave, if they weren't taken from us, life would be different. And so we're looking at the Seven of Swords, and we're looking at all the burdens that we carry, all the betrayals that we carry, and we're starting to carry our wisdom only. Like, what have we learned from this? We're carrying something as a child, okay? Our inner child is carrying something that really defined us, that was a defining moment when we were little. Now, for me, it would be my grandparents passing, right? Whatever that is, we're carrying it, and there's a darkness to it. There's a pain to it that needs to be addressed, or else it's going to drag us down. So just being aware of that is going to be very important for us, and it's going to help change the projection of the way that we move forward, but also of the way that we embrace connecting with others. Because there can be a part of us that is kind of a little bit separate, that always holds themselves back, because we never know when that person is going to leave. We never know what's going to happen. And it can be from, again, people just walking out. Your dad could have been there one day and decided to go out for, juice at the corner market and never came back. So here, or your mom or anybody. So here, it's really looking at the times where the people didn't come back. We relied on them. We trusted them. And there was just, we were left feeling abandoned. So looking at this and having that healing love come in, it moves us to the Six of Cups. A lot of things that happened from when we were little, okay? A lot of the good and the bad and the indifferent are affecting our now. Why? Because we fear. Why? Because there's a sense of, what if it happens again? Or what if I can't control where I am right now? And here's the thing, we can't control anything. Life has a way of happening around us. And as much as we want to schedule things or make things a certain way, things go off rails all the time. The Six of Cups is memories. The Six of Cups is a connection with the past. And these memories can be great memories. But the past is always living in pain because we can never recreate it. These can also be memories that were very hurtful, very harmful, very much made us feel less than how we wanted to feel within our lives. And we're looking at them now and saying, why did I carry this forward? Why is this my go-to response when things are chaotic around me, to put myself back in being in third grade, or, back being in the house when my parents were fighting? What is going on here? And it brings us to the moon. What do I fear? What do I fear now? Because I felt out of control when I was little, when I was in that abusive relationship, when I lost my job and was just absolutely afraid. How is that coming forward now? And how do I need to see it, understand it, and look it straight in the eye? Because naming fear takes away some of the scary, right? It's seeing that there isn't a ghost takes away the ghost aspect. And so here, we're going to be looking at things, and we're going to be looking at the shadows, and we're going to be looking at the way, the shadows come together and the monsters that they create, and then seeing, oh no, it's the curtains. Oh no, it's the trees outside. Our mind is telling us, be prepared for the monsters that come. Why? Because we're sight hunters. If we don't see clearly, that makes us afraid. That's why we illuminate the world. If we were scent hunters like dogs, right? We would illuminate the world by scent. That would be the most important thing for us. Eyes open last for dogs. For us, the nose opens last. So this is an important aspect of humanity. And when we're looking at our fears, when we're looking at the things that have overwhelmed us, we're carrying so much from the past into our present. And what Spirit is saying here is why. And we're going to be looking at ourselves as we start 2022, as we embrace this year of new beginnings, and say, why? Why am I carrying this into my now? And why is it holding me back? Why is it defining me this way? And how do I get to free myself? Our subconscious energy that we need to be mindful of is the Chariot. We need to be mindful of letting our emotions get the best of us and just charging forward that way. We have a lot of water sign energy here. We are water signs. Cancer is a water sign. Pisces is a water sign. That's all the water signs coming forward. We really do need to be mindful of the subconscious and the conscious coming together. Both are astoundingly powerful, but we're going to let one kind of trump the other. And that's not going to be a good thing. Also, we're going to be very attracted to people who let their emotions carry them forward. They're going to be passionate. They're going to be creative. They're going to be expressive. They're also going to be chaotic and harmful in the way that they're reckless as they're just charging forward and not caring about the consequences. It moves us to our subconscious chakra energy, which is truth. This is the third chakra. We are embracing the truth of ourselves. We are finding balance within that truth. And as we do so, we are embracing our reality. We're speaking what is truly important to us and seeing how that leads us forward. Speak truth and see what unfolds. It doesn't mean that everybody will accept our truth or everybody would like our truth. What it means is that we really start to speak the truth to us. That resonates with me. That doesn't resonate with me. That's the way I'm moving forward. That's not the way I'm moving forward. This is what's important and this is just what isn't. And as we say this to ourselves, we start to come to a lot of realizations, or some very powerful realizations. It moves us to our subconscious rooted self, and this is the Magician. There's magic here. As above, so below. As I believe it, so it becomes. We need to really focus on our minds. We need to focus on the way that we want to move forward and really listen to our inner dialogue. Am I building myself up or am I ripping myself down? Am I taking my gifts, or do I see myself as a gifted person, as a person with talents, or do I see myself as a kind of waste of space? What is my inner dialogue, and how does that let me embrace the magic of my existence, the power of the essence of myself, my own individuality, my own greatness? It moves us because we're going to find, as things get untangled, as our angels untangle things, as we're really embracing our power and our authority and we're claiming our throne and our voice, we're going to see that change comes forward. We're going to see that we stand before the altar of our existence and say, I deserve to be here. And there's power and there's dignity and there's determination and force and insight to me. And that's the game changer. It moves us to our subconscious inner self, and that's the devil. This is Capricorn energy coming through quite powerfully. So we have to understand that the moon is going to affect us on the 2nd of January more powerfully than we think it is. And this is a sense of what energy is tying us down. What is keeping us held back? What is it that makes us think I can't? These are the chains that we get bound to through society, through our own expectations of ourselves, when we look at things and say, this is what success looks like, this is what power looks like, this is what abundance looks like, and then we don't find ourselves fitting into those really minute, those really rigid boxes. And we're going to find ourselves breaking the chains. We're going to find ourselves breaking, the lore, the vampire stare, right? The one that in old movies just has you go under the spell, be mesmerized, right? By the vampire. We're breaking that spell and we're stepping into our own bodies, into our own selves, and really awakening, maybe for the first time in a long time, to what we desire, to what we need, and to the place that we want to be. That clarity is really coming forward. It moves us to our subconscious emotional self. And this is the Wheel of Fortune coming through again. So our angels are untying things, and this Wheel of Fortune is really giving us a whole new start. It's a new set of seasons. It's a new world that we are embracing. It's a new way of seeing things. It's a new way of being. And that sets us apart from where we thought we would be. We're going to feel like things are changing and things are out of our control with that change. That's because we're coming to an end of a cycle on a very personal, very powerful level. The major arcana is the very essence of ourselves, right? So here we're coming to the end of a cycle, and we're entering into a new season with the very essence of ourselves, with what we desire, with where we need to be, with who it is that we are. And it brings us to our subconscious public arena self, and that's the Two of Swords. So we have the Two of Swords coming through again, and we have all major arcana cards here, right, in the subconscious, except for the Two of Swords. And the Two of Swords is saying, what road are you picking? You know, what battles are you fighting? Why are you moving this way and not that way? So it has us questioning so much. And that's why we're being told to be mindful of letting either the conscious or the subconscious rule the roost with the Chariot, because our subconscious has so many major arcana cards in it. You know, our subconscious is astoundingly powerful, and the way that we're moving forward needs to be addressed personally, quietly, you know, as we connect with the quiet shadow side of ourselves, the quiet side that isn't always illuminated by the light of day. All right, Scorpio, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and the intensity of this time. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Scorpio.